you know, this is not going to be anything that will probably be settled in a lot of our lifetimes. Jim might make it, you never know, but the rest of us are going to be on the far edge of things, and we won't remember what we were here. So, with that, any public comment on this moving forward in this letter, Mr. Lewis?
Yeah, I have a question. Now, this is just a resolution to approve the writing of the letter, correct?
Yes.
So the letter that's included is not the one that's going to be sent,
Yes.
right?
As revised, as amended, however, whatever the...
This is what's going to be sent at this time.
Well, then you got a number of corrections to make.
What page are you on?
It shows 42.
Thank you.
Because as I read the resolution, it's just saying that to approve writing the letter. It doesn't say approving the letter that's attached. And there's a number of incorrect things in here, including our general manager is not interim. The date is wrong. So theoretically, there could be a December 12th letter prepared to be sent and nobody's ever seen it. I think this thing, it just doesn't look right at all. Who wrote it? Did you write this, Dan? Okay, who actually wrote this? Ah, okay. I kind of thought so, but... So why did you call yourself interim general manager?
It's because it was it is a template that was developed before the board took action and it didn't get amended.
Oh, that's what you said about a lot of resolutions.
No, you talking about the letter?
Yeah, this time I'm talking about the letter.
This is the letterhead template, the electronic letterhead template.
Right. And you haven't changed your interim status. That's interesting. Anyway, the resolution says to approve writing one. I suggest you write one, then bring it back to the board for approval. Make sure it's correct. And again, I think it's awfully disingenuous, all these recitals in here about what a great job we're doing as stewards of our water when we don't even know where we can friggin' serve water. That's ridiculous. And your procrastination on this, I think, is outrageous. And I think it has to do with MID, FERC, and everything else. You don't want it out that we've been disobeying strict resolutions of Water License 11395 for 40 years.
Well,
so you're concealing that.
Let's be fair.
Well, no, let's be fair.
Stop. Let's be fair. You were on this board for 4 years. So
That's right.
You're out of compliance too.
That's right.
So if this district has done that, this board is not any guiltier than the rest of you sitting in the audience out there.
Exactly. Exactly. It's institutionalized fraud, and you know it.
Well, from the reports, I mean, we're getting kind of off the subject.
No, this is the subject.
Well, I think if we get to...
We're off the subject.
Okay, all right.
Let's come back to the resolution.
Okay.
And thank you.
Let me help out here. The resolution itself is on my page 45. It is stating that the district is a government entity under the government code section, that one of the powers is to provide water service, specifically copied out of the government code.
In its jurisdiction. You left that part out.
We have...
Its jurisdiction.
Pete, the resolution's on page 40.
No, you're on the resolution that was adopted at the last meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
for that was the last meeting.
Okay.
The resolution on 45 is the one that authorizes the submittal of a response letter.
Within its jurisdiction.
And it says one of the powers of the district is to provide water for beneficial uses for residents within district boundaries. And that's in the resolution. The district has adopted the other resolution at the prior meeting that supports the Merced River Safe, which is basically just stating that the plans and environmental reviews and everything that they've done for their FERC relicensing has an adaptive management strategy for the river, and they feel that that is more than adequate and reflects local circumstances. And that was our resolution that we supported that as well. The supplemental or the substitute environmental document, as this thing goes along, there's no way that you can review the 2,000 some odd pages and we would take a room full of experts that we don't have the money to pay to do more analysis on this. But it's certain that this is going to result in increased discharges. If this is adopted, the increased discharges will reduce the average stored water in the lake by 14%, and it will reduce the stored water during critically dry years, as we saw in 14-15, by 38%, which would be below our intake. We would not. So had this occurred, had this been in place, now they probably will have a process to get around it. We can ask for forgiveness, but we would have to do, they'll have a substantial amount of environmental reviews and studies and engineering and restitution and restoration that we have to do, because we would be responsible for ruining the salmon habitat just by drawing water during a period of time, or slowing them down. Anyway, so this resolution is really very, very simple. You're just adopting that resolution with those particular findings, and directing me to submit a letter under your signature, Danny. I mean, it's really more powerful when it comes under a board's board president's signature than the hired gun. And any combination of words you want in this letter, we can add. We've got time until
January 17th, I read this morning.
17th, it's the 17th, that's what they said.
So we've got a little bit of time to go back and forth, but then that would be, I don't suggest that we need another board meeting, but
The public needs to know what you're sending.
basically what's in your packet is what I had intended to send. The main point that I want to make as part of this is that we cannot rely on groundwater to sustain this community alone. That is not a long-term solution, and the state, in their evaluation of the impacts of this lower lake level because of the 40% to 60% unimpaired flow, their blanket statement was, well, those people that used to use that water now are going to have to put in bigger pumps on their wells or put in deeper wells. Well, in our case, that means more wells, and more wells doesn't necessarily mean more water for the millions of dollars. So that's the main point that we have to make, other than I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just a bad deal.
Did you say we could submit a letter along with it? Pete, did you say we could submit?
You really have the ability. This is a district letter. As an individuals,
So we can send it individually.
You can send individually. I would suggest you don't put on behalf of the Lake Tahoe CSD or Iowa board.
It's our own private statement.
Yeah, it's your own statement about how it goes. Just
Can any community member do that?
anyone.
Any of our customers out
Anybody.
here?
You betcha.
Anybody.
There's hundreds of them in there.
You know,
There's going to be a lot more, too.
I'm comfortable with what we're doing, very comfortable, and we have a first and a second. I know Lou has some concerns about the verbiage, that's okay. But any other public comment or board comment?
I just wanted to comment on the meeting this morning.
Well, let's, why don't you hold off that until your director comment at the end of the meeting, if that's fair to you, and how do we keep this going? Do you have a comment on this?
Yes, I do. In the resolution, item number 1, it's got the 1 there. I think Lou brings up a good point, because we do have questions about the mapping and such. Let's change that to the above recitals are true and correct to the best of our knowledge. Because right now, our maps are the knowledge we have, and until that changes...
But here's the question I'm going to ask you. Does that really change anything? Because we're still serving water,
No,
I think it kind of convolutes things and it weakens our position. Because we're still serving water, and if we've been out of compliance for 40, 50 years, I'm sorry I wasn't here, but we're going to continue to get these skeletons out of our closet.
But see, they're not skeletons. Once you know about it, you have knowledge. From that point on, it is an intentional violation. And that's why we don't have a map right now, because nobody on this board wants to know. Nobody on previous boards wanted to know.
You're wrong, so you can have your own opinion.
Then
You're wrong.
ask for the map.
We are gonna get the map, I promise you.
The survey map is what I'm talking about, not a $10,000 dog and pony show.
We need to bring it back.
So, okay.
Let me just,
No,
that's
we're gonna
specifically out of the government. but-
Yeah, I changed, I retract what I just said,
Okay.
because it's true and correct to what we know.
Okay.
It's an implied statement,
Okay,
so,
You
yeah,
comfortable?
I was overthinking it.
okay. So all those in favor of moving forward with this resolution?
Aye.
You got unanimous?
Wait, well, so you're sending this letter?
As long as we adjust the date in this resolution to the date on the letter, I'm good with it.
Okay, so this for sure is going to be what is sent to the state.
No, they said they're gonna talk about it.
We're
Well,
gonna,
then how will the public know what you send?
we'll put it on our website.
Oh, after it's
How
done.
many people want to be reading it?
That's one.
I want to see it before it's sent to the state. Because, I'm sorry, our general manager has sent things to the state that was outrageously incorrect.
Why don't we revisit this, you and I can look at the letter, and we can send it individually to the board members, and we will post it, we'll send it out as a communication.
Prior to being sent to the
prior to
state.
being sent.
Excellent.
We're, that's not even, we'd have to have another meeting to do that. You can't just.
We can't just.
Fine, have a special meeting.
There's no, honestly, this is, the content of this letter, if we just change the title on the map,
Try to change the
put the
date.
right, today's date, which was intended to be the right thing, anyway, the day that the letter is written is when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The date on the resolution, the date on the resolution, I mean, if the letter can be dated December, whatever today's date is.
And you should send it to the right person,
And
too.
then, I have never sent letters to anyone but the chair of the board.
Then you ought to read the SWRCB instructions on where to send the
Please,
letter.
no outbursts, please.
Well, I'm sorry, he's talking
No.
BS.
You've got to give people their right to say, when it's your turn to speak, you'll have that opportunity, but please do not interrupt.
Danny, did you take that vote? Did you?
No, we haven't voted yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
So
Cindy.
I'm just
No, it's okay, I
clarifying
just wanted
what's
to
gonna
make
be
sure
in
where
there.
I was.
Okay, okay. So with the corrections that's been submitted, let's move forward. Okay. So with that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there we go.